Beautiful.
A mother's love. Now, I had a hard time determining a photo or many photos because, frankly, how many of you have puppies right now? I know there are a few of you. What is it about them that just exudes love? And if you're on Facebook and you watch many of the videos, do you see lots of just little kids' expressions? What is it when you look at that infant that just pulls from you a heart sensation? No criticism.
You relate.
You relate. There's this freshness, this newness, this... Isn't there something emanating from them that just makes you want to tilt your head? The innocence. Yes. Yes. Unconditional love there.
Pure.
And that's very different when we celebrate the Father's energy, which we'll do on Father's Day, right, Reverend Michael? As we talk about a mother's love, what does that mean to you? Yes, of course you all had a mother or you wouldn't be here. And again, you may physically be a mother, or you may experience the love of a mother in a very different way, whether again furry animals or whether you were a spouse or with somebody who helped raise a child. And so what we're focusing on today is the mother's love within each of you. Rumi says, we are born out of love. Love is our mother. That's where we come from. Now I know for some folks, thinking about your mother also creates a wonderful, heart-filled, grateful expression, feeling. I know some people, perhaps that's not what they experience from their mother, correct? For some of us, perhaps you had to become the parent, and your parent was actually the child. And for whatever reason that the soul called that upon your experience here on earth, there is still a connection to understanding a love. Because even in the space of that contrast, that maybe you didn't get the mother's love that ideally you may have wanted, as Abraham would say, out of the contrast comes a desire, and out of that strong desire becomes the opportunity to express that love now. It was a calling. There was a purpose. There was a purpose. And if there was a purpose, then with that purpose also becomes a passion. Because even in the space where your mother might have not been the motherly love that you expected, the calling, there is a knowing. Because if there was no knowing, there'd be no contrast. Does that make sense? If you didn't know any different, then there would be no pain there. But there's a pain because you know something deeper. And now you are being called upon to express that. Whether your mother was a loving mother or not, we are constantly being called to express that mother's love without the criticism and structure and many aspects of the mother being. The power of love is the strongest force in the universe. Do you believe that?
Yes.
How do you know? You know, they don't teach you in school that the whole reason why you even exist is love. How can you know that? You're breathing. You're here. There is a givingness in love, yes? I mean, love at its deepest is, I can't give enough to you. And that is what God, or your divine source, or spirit, universe, whatever you want to use for your word for God, that is your true spiritual nature being called upon to love, to use the power of love. Whether it's you're walking the earth tending the earth, breathing the air, whatever it is that you're doing, the whole reason you're here is because life, with a capital F, gave to you, gives to you. Constantly giving to you in every present moment. It's not about, I got to get this done so that I can show them that I gave my love. No, it's the pure, divine, just beingness, like that little baby. Just the love of being that love, of shining that love through your being, which is a unique sun ray, a unique light. So we are created from love. We are love. We live surrounded, it lives in us, as us, through us is love. And we give and receive love. And I'm going to say to you, it seems like as we grow up, hint, and become adults, we sometimes just get too much in our head, don't we? And that's why part of our spiritual practice here is meditation and to practice being. Oh my gosh, watch a child at the park. Just expressing. Fun. That expression does not need the words that we use on a daily basis for the shoulda, woulda, coulda, gotta, next. But just frolicking in the being of love. So name me some characteristics. When you think of a mother's love, what are some characteristics of a mother's love? Hugs. Nurture.
Patience.
Patience.
Gentle.
Caring.
Gentle. Gentle.
Gentle.
Unconditional.
Beauty. Unconditional.
Protective.
Humor. Protective. Yes, big mama bear. Don't mess with my child.
Exhaustive.
Exhausted? Meaning the energy has more child than you?
Elation.
Elation.
Dependable. Support.
Dependable. So you depend on them for support.
Presence.
Defend.
Radiance.
Radiance.
Teacher.
Say that again, Ernest. What'd you say?
Diapers.
The practical aspect.
Understanding.
Understanding.
Solid.
Solid.
Teacher.
You know your mom's there for you no matter what. No matter what. Do you know Spirit's there for you no matter what? Sometimes it doesn't appear like that or feel like that, but Spirit is there. Love is there. How often are you this for yourself? How often do you practice this to yourself?
Not often enough.
Not often enough. And why it's important, again, why we have spiritual practice and spiritual tools. To help us come together and to remember that it's important. Because this is who you are. Even when Denise talked about exhaustive. Okay, so what is that saying? And I know that it's difficult, especially for single moms or single parents. But this is why there was more than one parent traditionally. Is because you too need to know that you need to create a space to do this for yourself. It begins with you, which means you have to lead your life, not just react to life. To lead your life means to get ahead of, to plan that space so that you can nurture yourself, no matter what that is. And of course, it's different for lots of different people. And that's part of learning to know who you truly are and how you are spiritually fed. For the choir, I imagine a lot of that is singing and music. And I'm sure that's not the only thing, because I know there's a lot of artists also in the choir. But I'm sure there's a lot of artists here in the community also. Expressing your art is expressing your love. And for others, maybe it's massage, maybe it's walking in the park. I mean, there are unlimited ways to nurture yourself. I guess the question is, do you know yourself well enough to know what fulfills you, what fills you up, what nurtures you? And then, do you gift that to yourself? Do you give that love to yourself? And it all begins there, because it's hard to give love to somebody else, although you can try, and not that you don't. But when you have the love aligned with yourself, the energy and the gifting of love you give to others is just energizing rather than maybe depleting. Okay, I gave it away. And now that you've grown up, how do you reverberate the mother's love in your life? And I'm pausing because I really want you to think about that now, because I know the minute you go out that door, we just all typically do what we do. But if you could pick a place and a time right now, can you? A place and a time right now to determine when you're going to go love yourself, whatever that is. Commit to yourself to do that. And of course, again, from a perspective of, for some of us it may be easier than others, but if our parents were not there for us, then really to love ourselves is to practice, indeed, creating a space for ourselves that is safe. Maybe that's the first practice that we need to envelop and embody. Are you safe with yourself? Do you value yourself? Do you value what you have to give? Because everybody has something to give. It starts with just the capital L, love. Sometimes it's just a smile on your face. That can mean the world to somebody else in this room, you know. And do you truly love yourself? Again, it begins by knowing this, not just in your mind, but being able to call it forth in your being. You know, it's easy to know the space in this room with your eyes open. But by doing meditation, you get to know a space for yourself that is within. And that's always hard to describe. But there's another dimension within you that as you practice meditation, you find more of yourself in that invisible dimension. Because that's really where the truth of your being comes first, and then moved into expression. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So I'd like to do a guided visualization, if I can ask for the lights to be turned down. And I'd like to ask you all to get comfortable and put your palms of your hands over your heart. Get comfortable. Imagine putting your mind in your heart. Your heart that has more power than any aspect of your body that has been measured by scientists.
You need a website. Why not?
Somebody did say a mother's love was humor. There you go. The mother of all mothers is here. And indeed, one thing I forgot to say is that I hope for today that you will imagine God as a her. I know for myself, I was actually raised Catholic, and I still tend to think in the he pronoun. But I ask for you now to translate that, because of course God is both mother, father, and all other things. So I ask you to bring out the mother's love with your mind and your heart, your hands on your heart, and allowing the love that you truly are to express through this heart, surrounding yourself, moving love in and out with the breath, moving love through the circulation of the blood in your body and all the other circulatory systems, the nervous system. Just allow the heart with all of that power to be expressing and exuding in your body, around your body, as your body. All the cells are vital, moving with this renewable energy of love. Taking in the love, breathing out the love, where it is safe. Where you feel the support of the love, and you can feel that love vibrating in your body. Feel the vibration of your body. It's love moving through you. Love is always moving through you. And we are just allowing. And now as this love continues to move through you, imagine for a moment, no matter your gender, of the seed of the woman and the seed of the man coming together in energy and beginning to create. The cells dividing, continuing to divide until there are 2 trillion cells. And the cells begin to take form in this place called a womb. Again, safe place. The womb that nurtures, sustains, the giving of life, the love. All that is needed is provided. This place where it's warm, where it's giving. Where the true essence of life moves through all those cells. And each cell differentiating for a unique individual purpose. Some cells become the blood. Some cells become the heart. Some cells become the mind, brain. Some cells become the skin. Some cells become the stomach. That each cell is differentiating and yet is one. One infant, one baby. Working in perfect harmony. Divine perfection, divine intelligence, working through the love of being. And now we move to the baby is born. You will now move your arms as though you are holding a baby. And you look down upon this beautiful infant. It's you in your perfect innocence. It's you in your perfection. It's you where love has created you. Love is you. And love is what you are giving off. As others look at you and adore you, you are just pure love. This is the truth of who you are. This is the inner child. The tenderness, the beauty, the peace, the wholeness, the unity. Now give this baby a great big hug and move that baby back into your heart and put your hands back over your breastbone. Divine expression at the heart of your being. I'm knowing that the Divine Mother's love is right here, right now, expressing as each individual here, all of those in our community and those that we touch. And I know that this spirit of love that lives deep within each individual here continues to provide the warmth, the nurturing, the sustenance, and with each individual's gifts and passions expressing in the world, creating our highest good, knowing that each expression of our life is divinely blessed. And so I give thanks for this. I release this, letting it be so. And affirm with me, and so it is. Now, we've touched on the inner child, and now what would the child say? Would there be joy? Yes. Would there probably be song and dance and fun? That visualization was, as Eckhart Tolle would say, the opportunity to take your heart and to be connected at the deepest level to who you truly are. Sometimes life's experiences have created barriers or gotten in the way, but that's okay, because the light always overcomes the darkness. And the love can always overcome. The power of love can always overcome to take you right back to spiritual truth of your divine being. And then you discover the wisdom of the heart, not so much in the chatter of our mind. And it's not that we don't need our mind, because we do. Again, we will speak about the divine Father aspect of each of us. But ensuring that we have a balance in our life of the mother's love within us, expressing as us and through us in our life. So, why would we have a Mother Earth and a Father, Son, Sky? We need them both, absolutely. Why is it Mother Earth?
Because everything we have comes from the earth.
Because it's a life-giving, right? It gives forth to all of us in order to be able, yes, to be able to be here. So it is the fertile ground. Just look at the weeds in your backyard. Now, what's important is most of you probably know that your electrical box has a grounding cord, doesn't it? That touches the earth in order to ground. Sometimes we forget to ground. And we're frequently in our shoes. So it's always fun to take your shoes off and walk on the ground. And or for me, it is weeding. It is being in the soil. That's an important aspect, because again, we tend to start floating in our heads and flying around, and sometimes just overthinking rather than remembering our being, which when we're on our deathbed, it's not going to be the things we thought, it's going to be how we felt. The things that we experienced in our life that we remember will be coming from the love that was expressed to us and the love we gave to others. So, of course, for those of you who've taken Science of Mind, you recognize our symbol on the left is our Science of Mind symbol. And the circle is really holistic, because spirit, of course, is not contained. But we usually think of spirit being in this top part here. And then spirit is individualized into our soul, which would be this area here. And as the spirit becomes individualized in our soul, we then become individualized in our body as form. Here we have some seeds, and the seeds, for a metaphor, are our thoughts. And the thoughts are not just positive thinking as in words, but moving, emotion, moving our beingness and feeling up to align with our thoughts. And we plant that seed in what? Soil. The soil that is grounded. The soil that is nurturing. And the soil doesn't argue, meaning you put a corn seed in, it nurtures the corn seed. It doesn't say no, and it doesn't change it into a tomato seed. It's exactly what we plant. And of course, as we find our way, eventually the form takes place above the soil. Now, you always have heard that sometimes when we do prayer, we put our thought in the soil, and the next day we dig it up and say, you haven't demonstrated yet. You know, normally it's taken a long time for what's manifested in our life. There are many thoughts that have come before. And it's not that one spiritual treatment, spiritual mind treatment, our form of affirmative prayer. It's not that after one, we know that change happens. And it changes in spirit. Now, how that's demonstrated, again, based on you doing your meditation or your spiritual practice, something may come to you to move you to a different vibration, to a different expression. So life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself and remembering who you truly are. And this is the important point I want to make for this part of the lesson is we can all have love, but when we get more passionate about the things that we love, our gifts, the things that make us joyful, that make the kid want to come out and play, that love becomes all the more power. It's not just I'm loved, it becomes love with a purpose. So, I'm going to play this YouTube, and you might think, what does this have to do with me? It is a gentleman speaking about his mother. And he's talking to a bunch of teenagers, which you may say his topic might be a little off for this adult audience. On the other hand, he is talking about choice, and I believe he demonstrates that he is living his passion. So if you'll observe him living his passion.
Football, okay? My mother would be on the sidelines, and if the play on the field started going one way, my mother would run along like, Mark, get up, get up! I'd be like, oh my gosh. I'd get in the huddle with the other guys, they go, Mark, is that your mother? I go, no, I never saw her before in my life. So the greatest gift my mother ever gave me, she believed in me. I overdosed on drugs on 3 occasions where I should have been dead. But I believe I was kept here for a reason. You show me your friends, I will show you your future. How do I know this? I hung out with losers, and I became the biggest loser of them all because I gave up everything I dreamt about as a little boy because of who I chose to surround myself with. My friends would drive me home at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. We'd be drunk and high, laughing in the car. We'd pull up in front of my house in New York. They go, Mark, the light's on. I go, oh man, my mother's up. See, my mom wouldn't go to bed until she knew her son was still alive. I'd walk in, she'd say, hi Mark, how was your night? I go, it was good, Mom, I'm just gonna go to bed. She goes, can I talk to you for a minute? I go, Mom, I'm tired, I'm just gonna go to bed. She goes, Mark, I haven't seen you all day and all night. Can I please talk to you? I said, man, just leave me alone. You bug me. I'd slam my bedroom door on the one person who believed in me. I was on a worldwide tour when we were wrestling overseas in Japan. After my wrestling match, I went upstairs in my hotel room and I fell asleep. There was a knock at my door at 3 o'clock in the morning. I got out of bed, I looked through the safety window, and I could see it was a Japanese promoter. So I opened the door and he said, Mark, you need to call home. There's been an emergency. I went and got on the hotel room phone. I called back to the United States and said, hey, what's going on? I said, Mark, I don't know how to tell you this. I said, just tell me what happened. Somebody started crying. They go, Mark, I can't tell you. I said, just say it. I said, Mark, your mother died. I just threw the phone down. I ran out of my hotel room. I took the elevator to the lobby, and when the doors opened up, I just ran out into the street. I mean, there was no cars, there was no people. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I walked down the middle of a street in Hiroshima, Japan. And I remember looking up and just saying, Mom, I am so sorry. I flew home for her funeral, and I was so nervous to walk up to her casket, so I just stood way in the back. And I kept looking from a distance, and I kept thinking to myself, Mom, please wake up. Please get up. And then I finally got the nerve to walk up to her. And as I got closer, I could see my mom for the first time. I mean, she was so beautiful. She was dressed in white. I mean, she looked like an angel. And I just stood over her and I said, Mom, you are my hero. Everything I am, everything I hope to be was because of you. You loved me so much. You gave me a life. You're the only one that ever believed in me. How to repair? By getting drunk? By getting high? By getting stupid? By hanging out with losers? For what? All she ever wanted to do was talk to me. I wish I could talk to you now, Mom. I wish you could see what I'm doing. Why couldn't I have been a better son? We are defined by our choices. But if you surround yourself with people involved in drugs and alcohol and pills, it's a dead end. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm here to tell you I lived that life. It leads to broken hearts, broken relationships, broken dreams, and death. For what? To get high? If you have a mother or a father, when you go home, tell them how much you love them. See, my whole life was about being rich and famous. I had to be a millionaire. I had to win the race. I had to win the race at the expense of my marriage, my family, my friends. For what? To be all alone in the world? I learned what is truly important, and that is how precious this gift of life is, and our families, and how quickly it can be taken away. See, I no longer live in time. I live in moments. See, it's not what's in your pocket that matters. It's what's in your heart that truly matters. Love. Love is just a word until somebody comes along and gives it meaning. You're the meaning.
Now there's two aspects of that. One is to pull from your heart the opportunity that if your mom is still on this earth, to say that with deep meaning about how much they mean to you. But it's also about the mother's love in you, which lives on regardless of your life's experience. Again, you were born out of love. You are love. Love surrounds you. Give and receive love. Happy Mother's Day.